to Retro Rulo. I'm your host, Butch Bronco. And tonight we're having an action-packed show. With me, I got three amazing people.
Hi, I'm Lucy Hedgehog.
I am Dash V. And we also have a return guest today. Ryan, also known as Fist of the Wind, is with us. So Ryan, hey, give a shout out and tell us a bit about yourself for folks that maybe this is their first time seeing you.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Glad to be back. Excited to be here. Since the last time I was on the show, I'm still collecting Sega games, still mainly Master System. I'm actually I'm working on 3 new podcasts now, so that's keeping me really busy.
Wow, that's amazing. What are the 3 podcasts? Where can we find you?
So for most of the details and our schedule, you can go to midnightspookhouse.com, and we run a paranormal show that's live every Friday, and then every alternating Wednesday we do a horror themed podcast, which is based on like old slasher flicks, the horror movie genre basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do it's called a Retro After Dark. So it's actually very similar to this show. We talk about video games and pop culture and give kind of a retrospective on the 80s and 90s pop culture. So yeah, check us out. It's a good time.
Nice. Now you also, I'm noticing you've got shorter hair than last time, if memory serves.
I donated it, actually. It was getting too hot for summer.
Nice. That's excellent. So speaking of donating, Lizzie, you've been doing some stuff in the charity field as well, right? Fill us in on that. How's that going?
Yes, I'm actually part of a walk that's going to be in September called Starry Night. And since I'm a brain tumor survivor, I've been raising money for this walk for children. And I'm so happy because I actually decided to change my goals because I keep reaching my goals. So I have a final goal of $1,000. If I reach $1,000 by September 16th, I've decided I will wear a Sonic style costume to wear during the walk. Since the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation, they actually called my team Team Sonic. And it's pretty exciting because so far I've raised, a lot of money so far, and I'm about to reach that goal. So I'm like, hey, you know what? It's already going to reach $800. So you know what? I'm going to go for the $1,000. And if I beat that, then, I'll definitely wear the costume. I've been sharing with my friends in Houston that if they join the walk and walk with me in person, I will make them their own little Sonic ears for them to wear during the walk. Yeah. And I'm really excited because everyone has been so kind donating. Ryan donated, so I'm really happy.
Tom Kalinske, right?
Yes!
Tom Kalinske, CEO of Sega, right? Like, he donated. When I was looking, I saw the list. I'm like, wow, good for you, Tom. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, he donated. You donated. I'm really happy. Bill, the writer of the Sonic Boom cartoon series, donated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. And somebody recently donated the other day, and it was Sydney, who's the voice of Amy Rose in the Sonic series. So definitely, I'm really excited. Thank you, Amy.
That's fantastic. It's a great cause, folks. There's still plenty of time to donate if you haven't already, if you're just waiting for payday. So they have different amounts that you can donate. There's not like a set huge amount or whatever. So it doesn't have to be a lot. Every little bit, kind of helps, and it's a really great cause.
Yeah, it goes for brain tumors, and I'm a brain tumor survivor since I was a kid, so that's why this actually means a lot to me because I really want to help other children survive brain tumors too. I mean, I already beat it, so other children should be able to beat it too.
Absolutely. Speaking of people being able to beat things, Nintendo is actually taking a beating for announcing a great new product. So, and I think that we should take some time
to go there. Don't you have a special announcement? Where are we now?
Announcement. Oh, that is correct. I apologize, everyone. Folks watching us now on TV, I apologize to you especially. Folks in the live chat, we got new folks to welcome into the Retro Reload family because we launched on Roku last week, and in just 1 week, we already have 300 installed base on Roku. 300 people have installed the channel. You guys have watched, over, almost 20 hours worth of Retro Reload. It's amazing. So we're glad to be on the platform. We're only, you might notice if you install our channel, you can go if you go to my.roku.com and you have a Roku player, and you click on the add channel button and you just type in Retro Reload, all one word, and hit add channel. That'll add our podcast to your TV. It's really, really cool, but heads up, we've only selected what we consider to be the best of the best. So not every episode is on the Roku. We tried to make sure that what we think was the best and the greatest kind of made it there. Also, going forward, there's going to be some stuff. We've always, Jeremy, right, and Liz, we've always tried to be like ahead of the curve and try to do extra stuff in the podcast. But sometimes, folks, I have to admit, it's kind of hit and miss. And you can know a bit about this too, Ryan. Like there's things that a live stream is good at, especially like an open chat thing, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's stuff that sounds like a good idea but just falls apart. Things like game streaming, or if you want to talk about a game and show the footage of the game, there's not really effective ways to do that with like Google Hangout or something. So one of the things that we want to do to kind of rectify that is for you folks watching us, after hours, because you can't see us live on Roku, unfortunately. You're usually catching us a day or so later. But you're going to be able to actually see additional content. So sometimes if we're talking about a game, you might actually see footage from the game that we're talking about. If we're talking about another particular topic or something, we might jump to a clip or something or show a trailer. So there is going to be some additional content that we're able to do because we're going to remaster some of the videos before they go to Roku Land. But yeah, so welcome everybody from Roku. We're glad to have you on board. Roku's been a great platform. So far we've got 6 reviews and we're at 4.5 stars. So if you do add the channel and you like it, please review us and help push us toward 5 stars.
We're also considering doing recording off-screen banter and uploading Roku, which off-screen banter is usually pretty funny. Oh yeah. I keep getting pressure. Sometimes certain shows, we've actually recorded the pre-roll, and I got to tell you, some of this stuff is gold, my friends. So any of you that wanted to see more of me in drag, this footage may exist. I don't know, but we got to get closer to the 5 stars because I don't give it away for free. Lister wants to know what's the Roku channel again, just to confirm. Oh, excellent. So the Roku channel again, Lister, it's when you go to click add channel, the channel code is all one word, Retro Reload. Or you can also search the Roku channel store for Retro Space Reload. Either one of those will bring us up. So easiest way is to just punch in the channel code, Retro Reload. All one word. So we're gonna keep what's that? You'll put in doodly-doo so people can look. I'll put it in the doodly-doo. Yeah, from now on I'll put it in the doodly-doo. So we're just launched on it, so expect it to get nothing but better from here on out, especially because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we can do better on Roku than what we're able to do on the live stream. So there might even be some stuff that only hits Roku that's not on the live stream. Not because we don't love you guys, but because it's just it's difficult to do in a live stream format.
So did I understand correctly? If we hit a certain amount of reviews, you're going to do a drag show?
I've already done a drag show, technically. Anybody that's been watching the show, we had a November episode where we were talking about the Nintendo Switch, announcing that months later they would announce stuff about the Switch. And so what we did that episode was each one of us switched places. So I was Lizzie Hedgehog. Lizzie, who were you again?
I was Jeremy.
And Jeremy.
I was Tyler.
Yep, and then Tyler was me, and he did it good. He had the jacket, he had the hat, and everything. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. But so what we have, and I have the pre-roll because I actually set up a separate camera from my web camera because I wanted to, and I recorded my desktop because what I wanted to do is I wanted to catch the group's reaction to seeing me, because I think all they expected was like maybe I have like the blue wig. But I went like all out. We're talking lipstick, glasses, I had everything. So yeah, it was And if you want to see everybody's reaction to seeing me dressed as a woman, you know, before we went live, it's pretty priceless. So that alone is worth going out and getting a Roku for. So
shall we get started on the SNES Dash?
So yes, so back onto the topic, SNES Mini, right? Nintendo announced it. People were sharing the post on Retro Reload and on Twitter. Hey, what do you guys think about this? You know, personally, I'm not angry with Nintendo or anything like that, but I do find it difficult to be excited about the platform, mainly because I feel like, okay, it's a really cool thing that I'll never be able to buy because I'm not going to spend the $200 to get it from a scalper who camped out the night before and got all 5 that got released worldwide. So
that's really it. That's the core of it. It's that Nintendo just won't. They don't care enough to focus on their user base. That, you know, they're fine eating it all up.
Yeah, I was curious what you think about it, Ryan, because you're always like super positive. So
at first I was like, I felt the same way you did. Like, you know, I'll never be able to get one, so who cares? You know, I just kind of brushed it off. What got me excited though was that Nintendo's actually going to finish Star Fox 2. So
yeah,
but I'm still really discouraged. You know, Nintendo needs to put in some kind of failsafe or make a deal with the retailers, Target or whatever. You know, like only one per person. You know, I know that's kind of up to the retailer to do, but you know, come on, throw us a bone.
Yeah, exactly.
I 100% agree. It's weird because I'm like, exactly. I'm excited, but about the wrong thing. I'm excited that there's going to be I'm excited to see if the ROM that's on the SNES Mini is identical to the ROM that's been floating around on the interwebs for a while. And if it's been the finished game all along, or if, like you said, Ryan, if we're going to get a like really truly Nintendo finished mastered image of this Star Fox 2. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a fan of piracy and all that other stuff. So I want to have Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini. That's what I want to have. That said, I have a feeling I'm going to have to live with the physical repro cartridge that I have of Star Fox 2 and my original actual SNES because I don't know. And apparently, Ryan, though, you and I aren't the only ones that feel this way. Like when I actually clicked on Nintendo's own link from their Facebook page, right? Their article is, now you're playing with power. Play 21 Super NES hits, including the previously unreleased Star Fox 2, when the Super Nintendo Entertainment System SNES Classic Edition launches September 29th. Now, that's a day after my birthday, right? So I should be all kinds of excited over this. But then if you look, there's literally thousands of comments, right? Here's one of them. Honestly, Nintendo, you can go to hell. Right?
Now here's how you really feel.
Yeah, here's another one. So what? It'll just be more console shortages. Never got the NES Classic I wanted. I'll never find this one either unless I want to pay over $200 for it. Right?
Yeah.
Another guy says, what's the point? This is just going to be snapped up by scalpers who will then flip them for a profit, just like the NES Classic was. I'd much rather you continued making the NES Classic so everybody who wanted one could actually have a chance to buy it. Then make this.
Pretty much what I thought. It was like, I can't get the NES Classic while I bought the Super Nintendo.
Yep. So here's another one. I love Nintendo, but you need to fire whoever does the marketing for North America. We already know you'll only send a few units to each store, and the only people who will make money off these are the scalpers. Are you afraid of profit or something? There's huge demand for this stuff. Meet it. Why don't you want our money?
I said it before, Nintendo hates money.
So another one says, let the Nintendo hype cycle begin. Step 1, get hype. Step 2, endlessly search for stores with it in stock. Step 3, never find one. Step 4, realize you can only buy it from eBay scalpers. Step 5, become disappointed. Step 6, complain. Step 7, Nintendo says nothing to gaming community concerning product scarcity. Step 8, get mad at Nintendo. Step 9, Nintendo ends console production. They are missing a step 10 though, right? Like announce that you're ending production because you're surprised by the success, right? And realize that people want more.
Only Nintendo.
So, folks, yeah, I mean, I could go on. Like, literally, that was only a handful of them. I mean, I could scroll, like, the Facebook, you know how you can keep scrolling and it loads more comments?
Mm-hmm.
The comments do not get better, right? They just get more and more, like, hopeless. So, Nintendo hasn't replied, like, a single time. Like, you notice other companies, they'll post something, right? And then they've got like even Hyperkin has a PR guy that monitors the posts, right? And does a reply now and then to show some engagement and involvement. Nintendo's just like, don't even care, right? Like,
that's what they're showing us. They're showing us that they really don't care and they're not going to change this situation.
Yeah, and what's I guess extra painful is I discovered through the Twitters, Os Gamer, who's actually one of the people that we follow and he follows us, he was actually mentioning that you can actually pre-order the SNES Mini currently. They have open for pre-order in Australia.
Wow.
So, but we can't pre-order it here. Why? I don't know. I'm really struggling as a fan of. I'm genuinely a fan of Nintendo. I own every single console except for the Virtual Boy, and I should be excited as piss for this. And I can't be because I know, like the NES Mini that I also did not get. So having a show doesn't help, folks. Doesn't help. I'm probably not going to be able to get this either unless they do something to deal with the quantity that they're going to.
I'm not even going to bother trying it one.
So I'm going to admit, like, I will bother, and I will be bothered by not being able to get one.
Just accept your fate, Dash. You're not getting one.
So what do you guys think? Like, Jeremy, what do you think this means for Nintendo? Like, when they announce a new product that everyone should be, like, love and adore. I mean, the lineup is awesome, and we'll get to that in a second, folks. The actual games that are going to be included on this thing you can never buy. But, like, what do you think it means for Nintendo when a product announcement is just met with such negativity and hopelessness?
They should also just reproduce the NES again. Any SNES, just throw them all out there. Make money. I mean, people want your product. Why wouldn't you jump on it, raise your stock, make lots of profit, invest it to the future? There's no loss in making more systems when people are demanding it.
Yeah. Yeah. And folks that have been watching the stock market and everything, for a while there, Nintendo's market cap, it's been just under and just above. It keeps, like, riding that line. Sony of America. So, I mean, Sony is or not Sony America, Sony in general. And Sony's huge, but Nintendo is worth as much or a little bit more than Sony. Like, but yet, like, Sony has no problem kicking out product, and Nintendo doesn't seem to want to kick out volume product that people want. It seems very bizarre to me. Like, how can Nintendo be worth so much but produce so little by comparison?
So my theory is, and this might be a little on the conspiracy, but I kind of feel like having an outrageous demand for the product or an elusive product is way more important to Nintendo than the actual profit itself. I think that they're chasing an image, I guess, of their company. They're wanting to be like the other Apple or something.
Like it's exclusive.
You know what? I think that you are onto something there, Ryan. Honestly, I've been thinking the same thing myself. That maybe Nintendo is trying to go like Nintendo is becoming less of like a household name because everybody's got one, and more of like elite people, right? The elite and the elect have this, right? Just like Apple is more like an Apple Watch is considered more of like a premium or an Apple phone, right? It's considered more of a premium product than a boutique type product, almost even than say an Android phone or something like that. So I think Nintendo maybe is trying to position themselves that way, at least in America, in terms of like, you can have a PlayStation and you can have a Microsoft Xbox if you're into those kind of games. But if you really want the fine dining experience, right, that only a select few can actually get, join Club Nintendo, right, if you can, if you're worthy. And you know, like it does really honestly feel like that, because otherwise why are you shortchanging product that's I mean, the other thing too, as long as we're on to conspiracy theories, I wonder if, you know, they're afraid to have to answer to shareholders about why something that only took a couple months to develop, right, and was super cheap to manufacture, right, was instantly outselling what was, before the Switch came out, their flagship console, right? Like, why the hell didn't you come out with this last year or the year before, right? And if they sell too many of them and they outsell the Switch, which is now their current flagship thing, which they've spent 5+ years working on, right? Arguably, their effort on that is what put the Wii U into the ground, because they focused so hardcore on the Switch and where the future was that they missed out on the present. I have a feeling that would be a very difficult discussion to have with shareholders.
That's that's who I want to hear from, is the shareholders and their take on this situation now. Because if you were a large shareholder in Nintendo, as a, you know, look at it from the business side, wouldn't you want thing to be like those Atari flashbacks that are available at every CVS and dollar store and, you know, every retailer across America? Those things are everywhere, and people will always buy them. You know, but this thing would just make them, you know, dare I say, indefinite money.
No, I agree. XL Pandas actually says it pretty good. He says, you know, Nintendo doesn't have a competition only because they have the original best game. So I think what he's getting at is, you know, that he does have a good point that Nintendo has a hell of a first party, you know, AAA lineup. They've got great Mario games, great, you know, Smash Brothers can print money, Mario Kart can print money, Zelda, Donkey Kong. I mean, a lot of these games can basically just print money, literally. And so or figuratively, I guess, right? If we're going to be grammatically correct. any English majors watching the show, I meant figuratively. But no, I think, but that only gets you so far, I think, is what we're seeing. Like, there's a lot of people. I think what makes people so angry is that there's a lot of experiences that you can only have on the Nintendo platform, and instead of Nintendo shopping that as their product, right? Because SNES Mini looks like that's what they're shopping as their product, but the reality that we're seeing and people lashing out, I think, is that the real product is scarcity. Look at this thing that you're probably not going to be able to, right? You can look, but you can't touch. It's almost like a tease, right? And I think a lot of people have been speculating, and I think that these people might be correct. Is a lot of people are speculating that maybe this is just an advertising ploy. This is Nintendo drumming up interest in retro stuff, so that when they go to launch their subscription-based thing for the Switch later this year, they'll have a built-in audience, because people will just be foaming at the mouth for, you know, I couldn't get an SNES Mini or an NES Mini. I guess this is good enough. So, and it may be right. I mean, as a break-even advertisement, right? It's a hell of a strategy. But in terms of, you know, what that's going to do to their actual fan base, how many people are going to feel slighted and just say, "Go to hell, Nintendo," right? I think that's a dangerous game that they're playing. What do you think, Lizzie?
Encouraging everybody to go through emulation.
Yeah, they're encouraging. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of people saying, "Screw it, I'll just build a Raspberry Pi box." But Lizzie, what do you think about Nintendo and the fan base?
Well, I just think, well, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, I'm not gonna be able to find one on my Facebook. I'm part of a few gaming groups, and people have been making up links to where Amazon already has them. Like, one of them, somebody took a picture of the Super NES and said Amazon had them for you to pre-order. But when you click on it, it was not the Super NES. It was a dildo. So people are really spamming it up. Like people are literally making fun of it right now, because nobody's going to take it serious. No one's like, you know what? I'm not going to take this serious because I'm not going to be able to get one. I mean, scalpers are going to somehow be able to get all 10 of them and say, "Oh, I have them for $1,000. I know you're going to pay for it." I go, "No, I'm not." So
somebody on oh, go ahead.
Oh no, just saying that That's all I see is just people making fun of it, saying this is a big joke. I'm not even going to take it serious, but I'm going to make fun of it. That you may be able to pre-order, but more than likely Amazon will email you, or Best Buy will email you, or Walmart will say, "Oh, sorry, we have to cancel your order because we're out of stock already."
So, Master of Disaster, I 100% agree with everything that you said. Absolutely, I think that you know, it is, Nintendo is kind of becoming a joke in that respect, and it's something that they're going to have to be careful of, because, you know, if they damage their reputation too much, there's being a household name, but you have to really think about why you're a household name. It's not just being the household name may not be a good thing depending on what people are saying about you. Master Disaster wants to know, do we each have a favorite system, or do we like all systems? I'll go first and just say I like all systems, but Ryan, do you have a particular favorite?
Oh gosh. If I had to pick, probably the Sega Genesis.
Really? Not the Master System? That surprises me.
It's pretty close. I didn't actually have a Master System growing up, so I, in my adult years, discovered the Master System. It's like, hey, these games are great. I love this. You know, I have to have more of it. So that's something from my later adult life. But I grew up with the Genesis, and that was my favorite system as a kid. So I've got the most nostalgia for it.
Nice. Jeremy, I have a feeling I know the answer to yours.
Nintendo 64.
Absolutely. So, and Lizzie, I think I know yours.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that?
Sega.
Of course.
So there you go, Master Disaster. Also, I believe Master Disaster. The chat is hot tonight, by the way. If you guys aren't in the chat, you really should be in the chat. There is some excellent discussion going on. I'm trying like hell to keep up with it, because usually I can. Guys, no offense to anybody meant if I miss a good post. There's just so many in here. It's hard to pick out.
Our fans are
pick
amazing.
out the right ones. I love our fans. They're absolutely amazing. So Adam says, congrats guys on the channel. Thank you, Adam. That's really awesome. So we have Master Disaster says that he likes the channel so far. Thank you, Master Disaster.
That's actually
really
my
appreciate
friend's son right there. I was talking about earlier.
Hey,
Yes.
glad to have you watching. So
Panda is another person I told about recently. He came on too.
nice. Super Rad. Did you just join us, Super Rad, or did I miss you?
He's been here for a while.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Robert, I know Robert wants to talk about Sonic. He's like so psyched up. He's got Sonic stuff he wants to talk about. Robert, my friend, you've got like a book worth of Sonic stuff that you want to share, and that's awesome. I strongly encourage you, make a video, post it to Twitter. We will share and retweet the hell out of it for you. So, but unfortunately, we don't have time in the show to get that deep into it. So what I do want to get to, though, is I want to get to the lineup that's actually going to be on the SNES Mini, because it's actually a really good lineup, and there's a couple of surprises in there. This is the U.S. lineup, by the way. Contra 3, the Alien Wars, that was kind of an interesting choice. Donkey Kong Country, only the first one, oddly enough, not the other two, which is weird. Earthbound, which is cool because that's become a rare game and very expensive game.
Mm-hmm.
I already mentioned that one. Final Fantasy 3, which has since been renamed to Final Fantasy 6 to fit with the original Japanese numbering. F-Zero, which a lot of people like, a good racing game. Kirby Superstar, which was originally Kirby's Fun Pack in Australia. Kirby Superstar actually is a collection of a bunch of the different Kirby games, all in one compilation. Kirby's Dream Course. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So a lot of folks are going to love that one. Mega Man X, only the first one. Secret of Mana. Star Fox. Star Fox 2. This one's the one that a couple of us have been talking about. Like Star Fox 2, this is a pretty big deal because the game was made, and the legend was that it was made and completed but it was not shipped because they were afraid to be releasing 3D games on the SNES too soon to the N64 coming out, because they didn't want people to go, well, if I could play 3D games on the Super Nintendo, why bother on the N64? Mm-hmm. So little did they know that the N64 would be delayed by several months, and so it ended up in the end they delayed the game for probably nothing. But up till now, you've only been able to play ROM dumps of it, fan translations, because it was only the Japanese version that got dumped. If you were lucky, like me, you found it somewhere as a repro cart, and you can actually get it in physical form to play in your Super Nintendo. But hey, legit, blessed. It'll be interesting to see if they just take the ROM off the interwebs and release it as their own, or if they actually give us a finished, polished release of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting is going to be out there. Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, which also tends to be an expensive one. Super Mario World, Super Metroid, another expensive one. Super Punch-Out and Yoshi's Island. That's a hell of a lineup, isn't it, folks?
Yes, it is. It is a impressive lineup. I'll give that.
Yeah. Ryan, did we lose you?
Still here.
There it is.
All right, cool. So, Ryan, what do you think of the lineup? Any favorites in there of yours?
Actually, the lineup is very similar to my Super Nintendo collection growing up. Like, it is my shelf of games that I had growing up, except for like Chrono Trigger. I think is
a lot of people going no Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, but everything else, that's pretty much my game library. Like, I was really surprised at that.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta say, yeah. Do you still have the collection in physical form there, Ryan?
I do not, actually.
Oh. There's a tale of woe in there. So let's see, of the ones that they listed, the games that I don't have Contra, I don't have Earthbound, I don't have F-Zero, don't have Kirby's Dream Course, don't have Secret of Mana, don't have Super Castlevania. Everything else I have.
Oh, wow.
That's another thing I'd like to add too. I hope the cords on this thing are more than a foot long. You know, if a couple friends are going to get together to play Secret of Mana together, then we'd better be able to sit, apart.
Yeah, and I guess what was mainly screwed up about it too, right? Like, if you wanted to not have to, I wonder what Nintendo was going for with that. Like, I could almost see the Nintendo guys going like, no, really, like, we want them to remember, like, way back in the day, like, we want them to remember sitting 4 feet from the TV as they play the game, right?
And right in my eyes.
Yeah, I think the difference Nintendo is that the TV back when I was a kid was not 65 inches.
And clear.
TVs today are huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but if you wanted to play NES Classic, right, like, you had to get like this 20-foot HDMI cable, right? So you had to push the entire console to you. So. But
I asked the chat, but also asked our fans, if you could put one game that's missing from the SNES Classic, what would you add?
Yeah, what games would you like? What games are you really excited about from that lineup that we just talked about? And if you could add your own game, but only one, what game would you add? So while you guys are looking to answer that question, Jeremy, keep an eye out for their responses, my friend.
Oh, we got responses. I asked them earlier.
Okay, cool. What are some of the responses we get?
Back because they're going too fast.
Our fans are awesome. You guys rock.
Let's see if I can find it. You keep going. Let's see.
Well, let's see. I think the only game that I know will probably. I mean, come on. I'm surprised Super Mario World isn't in there. I mean, isn't that the game that was there? I'm surprised that's on the list.
It is actually. Super Mario World is there.
Is?
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't mention it. That's why I was like.
I apologize. I should have. You know what's not there though, and this is a surprise. Super Mario All Stars.
That's what I was saying too. I was really surprised by that one.
And, did the Mario All Stars and World Kart? It's got Mario World on it anyway.
Yeah.
But you'd have like a whole Mario collection there in one go.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, some people argue, well, they already came out with Mario 1, 2, and 3, on the NES Mini. To which I say it's not the same. I like the originals, but there's definitely stuff I like about Mario All Stars, you know, above and beyond. So Ryan, if you could add just one game, what would the game be?
I don't know. Like I said, they kind of nailed everything that I had as a kid, so I feel like it's a pretty. Could do with some Shaq Fu. Maybe.
There you go. You know what? Shaq Fu isn't as bad as all the haters say. It's not a terrific game, but it is an entertaining game. I enjoyed playing it.
Okay, Amadeus said, he's a former guest, by the way, Dragon Quest 5 and 6, but due to possible rules and regulations, they probably couldn't do it anyway.
Due to the rule that we set forth, they couldn't do it, my friend. We said one game.
Cheater.
That's it. You're banned.
Adam said he wants to beat him up in the game. Or Sonic Blast Man. Let's see. A lot of people are saying 2-player game. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. I had you on mute, my friend, because I was getting some feedback. What were you trying to say?
Sonic Blast Man 2. That's my choice.
All righty. Lizzie, what's yours?
I would try for Pack Attack. I think it was Pack Attack, right? Where like you could like go through levels, but actually jump over the ghosts and things like that. I think it was Pack Attack, and you also had like and there was like a little fairy that would come and help you cheat. But come on, I mean, Pac-Man was kind of hard sometimes.
Mine would be Super Smash TV.
Really?
Super Smash TV.
Super Smash TV. It was probably the closest to the arcade of the home ports. So I loved that game. So any other folks in the chat there giving their suggestions, Jeremy?
Mostly they want 2-player games, such as 2 controllers.
Gotcha. So what game?
Pac-Man 2 I saw on there. Was it on there? Sure.
So now the Japanese SNES Mini is going to have some games that's exclusive to them. A couple of these maybe we don't really care about, but others it's kind of like, wow, I'm really bummed about that. So Fire Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem is going to be exclusive to the Japanese version. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, that one bums me out that we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I love me some Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Panel de Pon, I don't really know what that game is. Have to Google it later. Super Soccer, I can live without that one. Super Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. So,
okay.
I would actually prefer that one to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, honestly. I like the original Street Fighter formula with the extra characters before they kind of went all crazy with things in Turbo. Turbo made it very difficult for me to get into because I'm like, I have to relearn the combos.
Adam said, Sally, it's the same chords they showed pics earlier today. The front opens and it's the same chords and chord lengths. So we're all going to go blind playing it. That's exciting.
Oh my goodness! But is it's the same controller plug-in types though?
I think that's what you're saying. Yes.
So what's cool about this, folks, right? Like in the like bright side of this, this is probably going to mean that that it'll work on our Wii U, right? The controllers.
I got a picture out of it,
but not confirmed.
I mean, if they're the same cord and plug-in types, that would be pretty neat to be able to actually use a Nintendo developed SNES controller on my Wii U. So, what do you guys think? Am I the only one that's super excited, guys in the chat there and girls in the chat? Am I the only one super excited for? Or not super excited, rather super bummed that Legend of the Mystical Ninja is going to be Japan exclusive. Like that's a big.
I never heard of that game, so I'm not too worried.
It's an excellent game. You should try to find it and play it by whatever means necessary.
It's 2-player co-op too. Good time.
I don't have any friends, so I can't play with anybody.
That's not true. We have a whole internet full of friends. They'll play.
So how long do you think it'll be before this thing gets hacked? And then
yeah, we'll see. That's going to be the interesting thing because, you know, all other conspiracy theories aside, I wonder if the reason for the small distribution of the SNES Mini was them realizing it was only a matter of time before this thing got hacked and got turned into a total emulator box. And, you know, they probably didn't want to spend a whole lot of time in the R&D required to try to lock it down a bit more. So SNES Mini, it'll be interesting to see if they've taken any extra time or if it's just as hackable as the original was. And I think if it's just as hackable as the original, that'll probably be our biggest indication of whether or not Nintendo plans to invest in it over the long term. Because generally speaking, the console manufacturers, as soon as piracy becomes a legitimate threat to their revenue stream, they abandon the console. So
now the important question is there going to be an N64 Mini? I actually would buy that.
You know what? I think, yes. I think that there's going to be an N64 Mini. I would be very surprised if there was not. So
they can keep that trash.
I'd definitely buy that. That's the one I would actually buy.
Did you hear what Ryan just said, Jeremy?
What do you say? Want to kick off the podcast? Do you hear my feelings again?
I said Nintendo can keep that trash. They won't get my money.
So, well, Facebook friends list for
that. folks, we need to end the show early so that Jeremy can issue a beatdown.
How do you not love this thing?
Let's do it.
Schoolyard, 2 o'clock.
What's with everybody flexing this show? Like, Lizzie, you're the only one that hasn't flexed this show.
No, why should I?
Come on, give us a flex there. No?
Why?
That's okay. You don't have to.
Why
we are the most people on the internet at this moment.
There we go. You guys saw it. You saw the muscle there. Lizzie, Lizzie will mess you up. Don't mess with Lizzie.
I got to meet Ryan after school in the schoolyard to handle some business.
Alrighty, so if in order to get the one game that you wanted, folks, if in order to get the one game that you wanted on the SNES Mini, you had to remove a game. What game would you remove from the original lineup?
I'll do that lineup again real quick.
I would remove Contra 3: The Alien Wars, personally.
I'll do it too, just to piss off the Contra fans.
Doesn't sound like a game I play, so I'll probably kick it out and put my game in there. Back Attack.
Yeah, which game would you remove, Lizzie?
That Alien one y'all mentioned.
Oh, the Alien one. What
that
about?
Dumb.
Actually, I didn't play that one specifically, but yeah, so I can't speak to that one. But the Contra series itself is actually a pretty decent series. At least Contra and Super C for the Nintendo were pretty fantastic. There was at least one of them for the Super Nintendo that wasn't actually a Contra game. It was named like it was a Contra game, but it was really some other game that used the Contra label. So I don't remember which one that is. That's why I'm reserving judgment. But I would take the chance with Contra 3 and say I'll deal without it in order to get Legend of the Mystical Ninja on there.
I'll go play that now just because you're talking about it.
It's definitely a good game. And there's a I want to say there's a sequel to it as well. But I think the sequel only came out in Japan.
Oh, okay.
No, never mind. I was gonna say that isn't that Pocky and Rocky, but that's just a similar game. They
yeah, there is Pocky and Rocky, and then Pocky and Rocky 2.
Yeah.
So
I know what Pocky is, but I don't know who Rocky is.
Also a good game. Pocky and Rocky. It was a boy and his raccoon, I think, if I remember correctly. Raccoon or a teddy bear or something, or a panda. There's some creature.
I remember everybody fighting about to be the raccoon.
What's that?
I remember everybody fighting over who got to be the raccoon. This is a really cool character.
You make a game where like one of them is a normal character and the other one's just downright adorable. Like, what are people going to do? They're going to fight over who can be the adorable character.
Oh, that kind of.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen.
That kind of reminds me back in the arcade days, Ninja Turtles 2, when you used to go to like the skating ring or something, and you would see everybody surround Ninja Turtles 2 game, and everybody would fight over who would be Michelangelo. Everybody had to be Mikey.
I didn't, I liked Mikey. Mikey was one of my favorite Ninja Turtles, but I felt like I always picked Donatello because I felt like he didn't get enough appreciation, and I felt like I could personally identify with Donatello. He didn't have a lot of muscle, but he tried to use his brains to get his way out of situations and all that other stuff. But he wasn't quite as cool as the other turtles and stuff. But he didn't have to be because he was confident in himself. So I always was a fan of Donnie. What's that?
I'll be 29 at the end of the year, and I still don't know the difference between all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I couldn't tell you.
My gosh, you still don't know?
So Raphael has the red headband, Michelangelo has the orange headband, Leonardo has the blue headband, and Donatello has the purple headband.
Yeah, I will remember this in 2 minutes.
I have tea mugs that each tea mug is a different Ninja Turtle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I'm a little bit. I've got issues.
Oh well.
You see both movies, right?
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Excel Pandas says Donatello was amazing. He was a special turtle. Yes, he was. And by the way, folks, as long as we're on the Ninja Turtles thing, something that really irks me is how much crap that the current gen Ninja Turtles movies have gotten. Like, folks, they are honestly not that bad, especially if you're fans of the original television show. Not the comic. I agree, it's not as dark as the comic.
Movies.
What's that?
You're talking about the Michael Bay films?
So Michael Bay did not make them.
He's
but he was an executive producer, which basically means he made sure that the people who said, hey, we're going to make a Ninja Turtles movie actually finished it. Like, that's all that means. He helped them with money. He helped them with connections, that kind of stuff. He helped them get in front of the right eyeballs to make it actually all come together. But it was a totally different team. It's not the same people that made Transformers that made Ninja Turtles. So that's number one, because that's where I think a lot of people sling the initial hate and the initial mud is like, oh, it's a Michael Bay. Oh, it's going to be like Transformers. It's a completely different team. It's just Michael Bay was kind of the muscle that made sure that whole team got visibility, got their money, got the right opportunities to do and finish the project.
Adam agrees with you. The new movies are awesome, he said.
Bless you, Adam. Bless you, my friend. So I thought that they were really good. I saw both of them in the theater with my son. I think I actually saw both of them in the drive-in with my son. But as soon as they came out, it was amazing. What I really liked about it is I thought that they did a good job of staying true to the characters from the cartoon show. I'd never read, and to this day, I've never read the comic books. So I get that some people are upset that they still don't have a Ninja Turtles franchise in cinema that follows the original comic book canon. But I think the problem is that that's not really what was massively popular. What was massively popular was the kids' cartoon show, right? And so that's what most parents taking their kids are expecting to see. And in that respect, I feel like they nailed it. You got, in the second movie, you get Bebop, you get Rocksteady, you get Krang, you get actual Krang.
Rocksteady made that movie for me.
Bebop, Rocksteady were great. I thought that absolutely. As soon as I saw that they were in it, I was like, the only thing missing is Krang. And when I read on the back of it, or the back of the I apologize. I saw the first one in the theater. I caught the second one. I bought the Blu-ray when it came out on Blu-ray. And the only reason that I hesitated was because I so enjoyed the first movie. I was scared that I wouldn't enjoy the second one as much as I enjoyed the first one, but I actually enjoyed it more. So I thought they did a good job with Baxter Stockman's character. I thought they did a good job with, none of them are going to win Emmy awards for their performances, but it was definitely a fun popcorn flick, and that was all I was expecting. So if you haven't seen it, watch it.
I was going to ask you, do you have any pickups?
I actually do have some pickups. I've got something from Limited Run, actually.
Ooh.
But before we get to that, Lizzie, do you have any pickups?
Yes, I only got one that came in, but Tommy's starting to release another set now Now they have the modern Sonic with classic Sonic. And I'm kind of a little shocked because, you know, this thing's already reaching $40. And, like, it just came out. But please don't tell me that this was some kind of limited edition. But there's also a classic Knuckles and classic, well, modern Knuckles and classic Knuckles coming out too. So that's next on my list. There's a whole bunch of new merchandise coming out for Sonic now, with classic and modern. So this is the first thing I got was this. There's some cute plushies coming, like they're about like yay big. I'm gonna get those pretty soon once they release them. So yeah, starting to make my Sonic collection bigger. That's the only thing I got right now.
Very nice. So Ryan, have you gotten any pickups recently since last we spoke to you that you're particularly excited about? Oh, hang on, sorry, I muted you. Sorry.
It's been a while, honestly. I did go to the beach, and I caught a great flea market down there, and I picked up another
Nice.
game. So
Are the caps jacked, or does it work?
do what?
Are the caps bad, or does this actually work?
He actually had batteries in it, and let me test it there, and it's got a good screen on it. I was surprised. Like,
Very nice. Got good screen and good sound?
yeah, it does. Now
That is a lucky score, my friend.
I let the batteries go dead, so I can't turn it on and show you.
What? It's
Did
running
it-
out
did it-
power? That's a
did it-
purpose.
Did it have a game?
It came with an official power supply too, so if I could.
Oh, nice, nice. Did it have a game with it too, or no?
His games were actually really. He only wanted $20 for the Game Gear, which is a great price for one that actually works.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But his games, he wanted like $40 for his games. And he
Oh.
had Lion King,
Yeah.
Sonic Triple Trouble, you know, usually $3 to $5 games. So his games were way overpriced. So when I got back home, I grabbed a bunch of the Sonic titles because they're like $1 each.
Yeah, yeah. That's more Game Gear appropriate prices. So even Excel Pandas agrees that's too much. He says.
It really
Oh,
is.
Chris, let's see what you got.
So Adam Blevins, by the way, said in the sub Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 30 years to get Bebop and Rocksteady on the big screen was worth it. I have to agree, and what I especially enjoyed is I enjoyed the scene in the movie where Bebop and Rocksteady are sitting down at the bar, and you hear Vanilla Ice playing in the background. For anybody that remembers, right, back in the 90s, when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies came out, the second movie actually had music by Vanilla Ice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of homages both to the early movies in both the new movies and the early cartoon show. So I thought that was very well done.
So, Chris, what did you get? Let's see.
So what did I get?
Yes.
So from Limited Run, I got, and it's interesting that they sent it in a box because first of all, I didn't remember that I even bought this. And this, and
If you don't want it, I'll take it.
I thought for a moment there, I thought like, oh my gosh, is Skullgirls actually finally out? No, it's not. And in fact, I immediately was like, it can't possibly be Skullgirls because they just sent the ISO to Sony, the final ISO to Sony, like literally 4 days ago. If you follow their Twitter feed. So folks that are still waiting, that have special, pre-ordered Skullgirls, it's not Skullgirls. That's still probably weeks or months out. The ISO's been sent to Sony for mastering for the PlayStation 4, but if you're like me and you bought the PlayStation 4 and the Vita version they're only going to send in after the PlayStation 4 version gets approved. So I'm expecting I'm probably not going to see it until like next year sometime.
Okay.
So this is not Skullgirls. What could it be? It is a wad of paper. No, I got Broken Age.
Broken Age.
For the PlayStation 4 and for the PS Vita. So Broken Age is a family-friendly, hand-animated, puzzle-filled adventure game with an all-star cast including Elijah Wood, Jack Black, and Masasa Moyo. Funded by a record-breaking crowdfunding campaign and designed by industry legend Tim Schafer, Broken Age is a timeless coming-of-age story of barfing trees and talking spoons.
Sounds awesome.
So yeah, it was one of those. I'd never heard of it, like, but I got the email, hey, this is gonna go on sale tomorrow, blah blah blah. So like I'm laying in bed and it's like 11:30 at night, and I'm checking my email because I'm an idiot. And so never check your email at 11:30 at night. You end up buying crap you don't need. But so I'm on the phone, I'm checking my email, and I get the limited run games email. Hey, Broken Age and some other game I don't remember is gonna go on sale. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I click to see what it is, and I see like, oh, Elijah Wood, Jack Black, like that sounds pretty cool already. So it looks like it's an adventure game, almost in the vein of like a Maniac Mansion type game or Day of the Tentacle remastered type game. So I'm looking forward to it. I got the same issue with this that I have with every darn limited run game that I get, which is because I know that they're so limited and there's so few of them. The collector in me doesn't want to open them, but the gamer in me just wants to play the darn game. So they're going to get open.
I'll buy 2 of each.
What was that?
Just buy 2.
Yeah.
No. These were expensive. These were expensive enough. But what is this limited run?
This spending your money.
This counts as 1 ticket toward a limited runs games loyalty reward. I got some weird game royalty reward ticket things.
Ooh, what
interesting. And then I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look that up. I got a limited run sticker, like you always get, and then I got a nice card. So with their collection checklist on the back of it, so I could see all the other limited run games I did not manage to successfully get. So. So that's what I got. That's it for me. Anything, Jeremy?
Oh, one second. Back more time.
What was that?
Anything? I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
Nope.
Excel Panda says opens email, spends $4,000.
I hate when that happens. Every time.
I hate when that happens. Although I do have to say, like, the late night email thing was that there's 2 things that I do late at night that I shouldn't. One of them is email, the other one is eBay. So that Atari Jaguar is the result of a late night eBay. So
Ash doesn't even drink, so that's more impressive.
I don't even. Well, that's the thing. Like, if I drank, right? Like maybe. What do you think about this, Ryan? Do you think this is a sound strategy? Maybe if I start drinking, I'll pass out before I can use email or eBay, and I'll actually save money.
Or you'll spend more money.
What do you,
that's a fantastic idea.
do you agree, Ryan?
That's a slippery slope because you've got to make sure that you pass out before you get to the computer.
Before buying stuff drunk is a good idea.
Oh, that is true. I could just end up drunken buying a whole bunch more stuff.
I'd be sleeping on the couch.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. And let's not forget this. Well, I already got a text message from GameStop. They're releasing the Crash Bandicoot game this Thursday night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got an email. I was invited to some little party they're having before the game's released. They're actually going to release the game at 9 p.m. on Thursday at GameStop.
A Thursday release is kind of weird. Usually it's Tuesday.
Yeah, you would think, but it comes on the 30th. So they said, please. Huh?
So Robert says Robert wants to know if I followed what he said about Virtuoso Girls Sonic Cinema Sins thing. Robert, in full disclosure, I did not have time 5 minutes before the show to read the entire 8-page long post that you sent me. So I will try to get to that later, I promise. In the meantime, I definitely encourage you. You should definitely present that on the YouTubes, my friend. So we'll retweet it. So also, there's a couple other posts from you I was going to try to quote, but by the time I get to your posts, you're retracting them. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe he's saying like Chris is awesome, but he knows the world's not ready for it, so he redacts the post, and then he's like, well, Lizzie's awesome, but he knows the world's not ready for that, so then he redacts the post. I'm just
Chris get too big in his head, so you guys say mean things. No,
That's it. Yeah.
Don't fight his ego, guys.
Maybe he was talking hurtful. Maybe it's like Ninja Turtle sucks. And he's like, oh wait, no, I don't want to. He takes it back because he knows that that's not true.
Maybe it was me. It's why bother remember the names.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So who? Let's see. I was gonna say Red Bearded Gamer, but that's Jeremy. He's already on the show. I was gonna say Red Bearded Gamer says he's a Mario fan.
He asked if I how much I like Sonic. That's how I'm more of a Mario fan.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Liz is gonna beat me again for that one.
Yep. Well, speaking of Dash, are you gonna get the Crash game?
Am I gonna get the Crash Bandicoot game?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure because full disclosure, I never actually have played any of the Crash Bandicoot games. I kind of
Neither have I.
I wrote him off earlier as just like a Sony's attempt to knock off Sonic.
Yeah, well, same thing to me.
What was that, Jeremy?
How do you write off Crash Bandicoot?
So okay, here, the full disclosure, right? Like I didn't own a PlayStation at the time. My uncle owned the PlayStation, so the only PlayStation that I played Resident Evil, I played Tomb Raider and that kind of thing. But I played these on my uncle's PlayStation, and so you know, I didn't really have any. My only exposure to Sega had been a friend of mine had a Sega Genesis, so I played Sonic a couple of times. I played Streets of Rage, and that was pretty much all the Sega Genesis that I had played in my childhood. On the PlayStation, I played more games like Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, a lot of the sampler pack that came with the PlayStation. I played the hell out of ESPN Extreme games. Did a lot of rollerblading down the hill, and punching and kicking people. But yeah, that was like the extent of it. So most of what I saw for Crash was in like Game Pro, Game Informer, you know, magazines. And it just looked to me like, from what I knew of Sonic, it just looked to me like an attempt to kind of make a mascot for Sony. Like Sony needed a mascot, and here you go, this might be a mascot for Sony. So I personally didn't, you know, have a dog in the fight. And it wasn't a game that kind of appealed to my uncle, so I just kind of missed me. And now, even coming back to it, it's like, I understand there's a lot of love there that some people have, and I'm not knocking any of that, because it may be that he's a great character and that it's a good game, but I just don't have a personal attachment to it.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. Well, I already have a pre-order, so I have to go finish paying for it and pick it up. So I'm going to give him a chance, since I kind of ignored him. So,
oh, absolutely. You know, and I look forward to you coming back and telling us, you know, what we're missing, because maybe, who knows, maybe you'll convince me and I'll go out and I'll get it. But Ryan, did you have any experience with Crash?
I picked up the first one for the PlayStation 1, and I think I rented the second one, but I didn't play much beyond that. I really enjoyed them. I like Crash 1 better than Mario 64.
Wow, really?
Jeez, you just want to be my shit list, don't you?
Now, I do have, but I've never played it. There's a Crash Bandicoot racing game.
yeah, I've seen it.
I have that. I actually got it in a lot with some other stuff that I bought. It was like in the bottom of the thing, like wedged between the, like literally like the box, like where the flap comes down. Like I noticed that there was something underneath it, and it was a Crash Bandicoot Racing. So I do have that, but so maybe I'll give that a try and see what I think about it. Maybe it'll be better than Mario Kart for the N64.
Yeah, right. She's just upsetting me now.
I know, folks. I need to let Jeremy go. You know,
try it out.
Unleash some steam on a punching bag somewhere. So and we're at about time anyway. So Ryan, thanks for coming out and sharing some time with us.
Guys, thanks for having me. Always a good time hanging out.
One more time, where can they catch you at?
What's up?
Where can they find you at? One more time.
Yeah, if you want to check out any of our podcasts, go to midnightspookhouse.com. And we've got the schedule there for all the show times. And again, we've got 3 different shows going now. So there's something for everybody right now.
Awesome. And folks, also keep an eye out if you're following Miss Hedgehog on the Twitter. She's got a couple links that she's going to be posting about the fundraiser that she's doing. It's still not too late to help her hit her goal. And if she gets her goal, she will do the walk in Sonic cosplay.
Yes.
Something to see.
Absolutely, absolutely, and help us get back up to 5-star rating on Roku. If we do, I will release a video of the pre-show of the Nintendo Switch episode that we did, where I was dressed as Lizzie Hedgehog, dressed as Sonic.
Well, what if you come back on a future show dressed as that?
I tell you what. If we get to 1,000 channel installs, I will come back onto the show, dressed not gender appropriate.
Do a drag special. We'll all.
There you go. There you go. So I'm gonna hold you to that, Ryan. You're gonna have to come back.
Roku? Yeah.
What's that?
Like the show on Roku, guys, and I'll be back here in drag.
So I get to do the opposite, right? I get to be a guy. I get to get the cute little short wig and
absolutely
be a pretty guy.
There you go. There you go. So, and Jeremy, you're pulled into this too now. You have to.
All right, fine, I'll do it.
You have to. Oh, this will be awesome. This will be awesome, folks.
You haven't told Tyler yet.
Master Disaster says he'll rate 5 stars on both his accounts. How does that sound? So, hey, if they let you do it, as long as they allow you to register the rating, I don't care how many. Yeah, I don't care if it actually came from the same person. It's all good. So, yeah, and you heard it. Like the 4 that you see here, we will come back, and we will come back gender opposite of what you usually see us.
I think I got a cough. Really got to be on that episode.
All right, folks. I'm going to shut this thing down before worse things happen than when I'm emailing and eBaying late at night. So we hope that you tune in next Tuesday. If you didn't get a chance to catch us live. Oh, that's right. Thank you very much for correcting me. We won't be on next Tuesday because next Tuesday is 4th of July. So we're going to celebrate by giving you a break from us. So we will see you following that, though. Master Disaster goes, no. It is okay. We have plenty of episodes that you can catch on Roku. You can also catch our past episodes on YouTube. If you go to retroreloadpodcast.com, you can see our lineup of the best. So there's plenty of ways to watch us, even if we're not live. We love the fandom here. The chat's been amazing tonight, so you guys have been great. So Robert, Adam, Lister, Master of Disaster. I know I'm missing people. Excel Panda. So let's see who else we got going on here that's been in here. I want to not miss somebody. I'm gonna miss somebody. Amadeus, right? Oh, there's one more. Super Rad. So all you guys, thank you very much for joining in. You make the show worth doing. All right. So yes, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So, but you can watch us anytime you want. We're always around. Take care.